welcome into another edition of The Session with Londa and David. My name is David Austin.
I'm Londa Sherwood Austin. Welcome back.
Wow, that's loud.
I'm not going to say it.
You can say it. You can talk about why that was so loud to me.
Oh, it's a whole new world over here at the Sherwood Austin household.
It sure is. It's loud for me to talk because I have new hearing aids. And I don't like saying that word. Hearing aids doesn't work for me. I like to say medical grade listening devices. The reason I like to say that is because I'm not 87 years old. And to me, somebody who's 87 has hearing aids.
I mean, that's like saying you have to be 87 to have glasses. That doesn't make any sense.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So you've got your new ears on, and this is the first podcast we have recorded since you got your new ears.
That's correct.
And we came right out the gate, and you started talking, and you were like, wow.
Hot.
That's loud. Yes.
And it sounds the same to everyone else as it normally sounds, but it sounds loud to me.
It's loud. It's been very, very loud. There are times when we have been recording the podcast over the last, say, 6 months or so, that I have wished I had earplugs in.
Wow.
Just to dampen your voice.
Yeah, it's a weird deal.
Yeah.
And, you know, my on-air sound has been the entire time I've had hearing loss, the entire time that I've been involved in broadcasting.
Yeah.
And so I now hear my voice like I do when I'm listening to it back.
Yeah.
I don't hear it like I used to hear it because the way I used to hear it was kind of a muffle.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to have these new hearing aids, my Starkey hearing aids.
Yeah.
And it's fun because I missed a lot of sounds.
Tell us more. I think that if you are willing to talk about this a little bit, you'll encourage somebody listening today. It could be their hearing, but it could be something else that they know they need to go get checked. They know they need to go deal with some kind of medical something, and they've been putting it off. And the people who love them have been maybe mentioning it from time to time, but not really pushing, or maybe pushing, I don't know. But maybe sharing a little bit about your experience would encourage somebody to take the leap and just go get it checked out.
Well, we rebroadcast a show last week that was called The Session Saves Lives. And in that podcast, we talked about how we got a call from a listener who heard your story about cervical cancer and went out and got checked and sure enough had cervical cancer and took care of it, remediated it before it became a life and death situation.
Right.
In this case, I have a buddy, Thomas Bright, who wears hearing aids. And he told me, dude, I love it. It's awesome. I hear stuff I haven't heard for years. And I thought it was an exaggeration. You know, there's no, but whatever. Surround sound stopped working for me about 6 years ago. The phenomenon of the sound around me in the living room just stopped working. And I thought it was because the speakers were broken. No, it's because my hearing doesn't work right. So I went and got it tested finally, you know, years and years and years after you thought I should get it tested.
Well, there were some precipitating events that happened. There were a couple things that happened. And maybe, again, I hope our listeners, this resonates with somebody. You know, I had noticed there were sounds that I was hearing that you weren't hearing, of course.
Right.
But there were a couple things that happened. Like we were standing in things I couldn't explain away. We were standing in the kitchen together, but because you had your back turned to me, I said something to you. I asked you a question. You answered it, and your answer didn't make any sense at all. And I said, what do you think that I asked? What did you hear me ask you? And you said what you thought you heard, and it wasn't even close. At that moment, I realized, oh, you're filling in the gaps a lot more than what I thought you were.
I gotcha.
And you're missing a lot more than what I thought you were missing. And now it's affecting our lives. Like if I'm in one room and you're in another room, I know I have to go to that room for you to hear me.
Sure.
I didn't know being in the same room, if you're not looking at my mouth, you couldn't hear me.
I see.
So that was something that happened that I thought, okay, this is more significant than what than even I realized.
Mm-hmm.
And then the grandkids were here for 10 days. And there was something about all that sound in the house that was making you very uneasy. And that also made me realize, like, I think this is a bigger thing than what I realized.
Sure.
And so there were just those things that I guess even I couldn't explain it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, man, this isn't, and I felt a little bit like I was losing you a little bit. And so I thought, nope, I'm not interested in that. We're going to do something about this. And I knew you never would because you don't think you're worth it. And so I called and made the appointment. And
sure.
And it was easy because I said, hey, you have an appointment on this day at this time at this place. And you're like, okay. Like it wasn't a big deal at all.
Right.
But I think that the results of the evaluation were surprising for both of us.
Yeah, that was a surprise, right? Because I did realize during COVID that if people wore masks when they spoke to me, I couldn't understand what they were saying.
Right.
And that doesn't make sense to my brain. Just because you're wearing a mask, it doesn't muffle the sound that bad. But I realized I was reading people's lips and getting the context clues from reading their lips and hearing some of it or most of it. It felt normal. Your brain fills in the gaps, right?
Right.
But if you can't see what somebody's mouth is doing, then I couldn't fill in the gaps.
Right.
And so that was kind of a rude awakening, right? 2021, circa 2020 and 2021 is when I realized, oh, I'm not hearing well. And I make fun of the people that own that nice watch repair place in downtown Kennewick because they're still wearing masks and I haven't been able to understand them ever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're low talkers like this. And while with the hearing aids in, I know exactly what I'm saying. If I were saying this without the hearing aids, I would know what I'm saying because I'm thinking it and then reproducing it, but I wouldn't be able to hear it.
That was one thing that I told the person who conducted your hearing evaluations. I said, listen, he's very smart and will try to fake this as much as he can. And he has been his intelligence level has helped him along, you know.
Yeah.
But the evaluation is multifaceted. If you're like me, you remember that in the old days, it was the beep and you kind of raise your hand if you hear a beep or whatever. It's much more intense what you went through.
Sure.
And so there was no fake in that.
And turns out I have about 40% hearing loss. So I was missing a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Like when I put the hearing aids on and left the place, I could hear things that I forgot made sounds.
And that was one thing they talked about when we picked them up. The doctor said, the next 2 weeks, your brain's going to be working really hard because you'll hear a sound that you forgot and your brain's going to have to now remember what that sound is. For example, we went for a walk and you stopped for a second and it took you a minute to realize, oh, that exterior HVAC unit of the neighbor's house just came on when we were walking by.
Right.
Now your brain's going to remember that sound. So I think there's been probably a lot of that for you.
A lot of it. And I've only ever heard that when I'm standing next to the unit. Like if it's a home's being inspected and the unit kicks on, I can hear it if I'm standing there. But in just regular life, I don't hear any of that. You know, I can hear the air moving through the air conditioning system in the house. I couldn't hear that before. I knew when it came on because I could feel the of the thing in the air intake lifting up because the system's sucking it up. That's how I know the AC just kicked on. Now I can hear it.
One of the things you said in the appointment after you first put them on is you heard her arm move across the table.
And that was weird. It was a weird sound.
And you hadn't heard that.
No. I don't ever remember hearing something like that, but it was aggressive.
It wasn't aggressive, by the way. It was just a normal, just like that.
Yeah.
But to you, it sounded aggressive because you haven't heard that in a long time.
Right.
So is there anything that stands out in your mind as something, a moment in the last, has it been a week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A moment in the last week that really made you stop and take notice, or that made you emotional, or that just surprised the heck out of you?
Well, here's something interesting that I now realize. Friday night, we took our kids and grandkids dinner because they moved into a new house, and we took them, pizza. Because when you move, you have pizza. And every time I've seen my grandsons for the last 5 years, I've had a hard time hearing them because the range of their voices is just out of my normal range of hearing.
And to be fair, most noises are out of your normal range of hearing.
But it's been hard for me, and one of the reasons I wanted to go take this test is because I do have a hard time communicating with them because I can't understand what they're saying 90% of the time. I realize right now, and I didn't think about this Friday, I had no problem understanding them Friday at all. None. It felt like a non-issue, like it didn't exist. And I've only known them to be hard to hear. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the last 6 years, I have not heard them well ever. And Friday night, it didn't seem strange at all. I could understand everything they said.
Wow.
And I wasn't even trying. Do you know what I mean? I had been wearing the hearing aids all day and didn't even think about it. It wasn't like, okay, let's see how Maverick sounds with the hearing aids on, because I expected to do that.
I'm the one who's been saying, hey, how is it in this environment? How is it in that environment? Because I think your brain is refiring so quickly. You're like not noticing anymore the stuff that you were missing and now you're not.
Right.
Like everything is just becoming normal really quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm the stop and noticer person more so anyway, but what else was I going to say? Oh, in the appointment, one thing I noticed when you first got the hearing aid and she was going through this checklist with you, it was a written checklist on a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. And she's going through it with you on like how to care for them, how to clean them, how to change out the little pieces and whatever. And you said you realized you were just reading along with her, listening to what she was saying. But in the past, you would have been watching her mouth and looking at where she was pointing, and you wouldn't have been able to hear what she was saying, but you could kind of figure it out and follow along by doing those things. You mentioned it's so much less work to be in the world now.
Listening is different. I think of myself as an active listener. Well, let me tell you why I'm an active listener, because I had to work hard to hear what was happening. So I had to be focused. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You've said to me, one of my skills is that I turn off all things and just focus on the person in front of me when I'm in a one-on-one situation. It's because I had to know what was being communicated. Mm-hmm. And now I may look away while you're talking because I can.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't before. Not fully hear it.
Right. So one weekend, do you think that it has, improved your life, or has it made life better, worse, or neutral?
I think better. I don't I think of myself as kind of an audiophile. Like I like to listen to good, high quality sound. And I don't know that these provide high quality sound. What they do is they provide sound. And that's different than high quality sound. Do you know what I mean? Like I can hear something that's tinny. Like when I listen to my phone through my headphones, because it communicates with my phone, the sound quality is not as good as like my AirPods. But I can also hear the world, which I really can't do comfortably with my AirPods on. So it's interesting. So yeah, I think it's better. But again, on a plane, I'm going to wear AirPods, not these, because they'll block out the sound, and these will just include all the sound. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So for travel, these aren't my preferred listening devices.
You think?
I know, because she said they don't block out sound, so I can't put them in noise cancellation on a plane.
Right.
And her exact words were, the world's noisy, and you'll know how noisy it is the minute you get used to these. And I thought, oh, okay, so.
And you have mentioned several times, you have said things like, has that always been that loud?
Yeah, like the coffee maker.
Has that always been that noisy?
I don't know how we make coffee. The dishwasher last night freaked me out. It sounded like a jet plane was taking off. Can you imagine how loud the toilets in our old condo must be? Because they were loud. I don't need to imagine it. They were loud to me then.
Yeah.
I bet they are 400 times louder.
Yeah.
Crazy. So I don't know. The truth is, I think it's really cool to be able to hear more stuff. I think that's really cool. Is it magical? When I look back on it, kind of, because I really haven't heard Beckham and Maverick for 6 years. Mm-hmm. I've had to painstakingly lean in, and I just heard them like it was nothing Friday. Like it was nothing. Like it was never an issue. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah, to me, that alone would be worth it.
Well, that's why I wanted to spend the money to get them, because I want to be able to know what they're saying, because they're pretty cool, those kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the littles that were here for 10 days, I could only hear one of the pitches. Mm-hmm. And it's that baby discontented yip.
Whiny.
That whiny yip. That's all I can hear. So if the house is full of people, the only sound I hear is the whiny yip. And that is not good. I don't care for that
unsettling.
At all. Yeah. Let me go into my office. I've got work to do. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to hear the whiny yip. And that's all I can hear. That's it. That's the only frequency that's in my range.
Yeah. And there is only one frequency that's in your range. All the rest of them are below. Anyway, I think it's if any of this is, I can't think of the word.
If you have a loved one who has any kind of hearing issues, if you talk to people and they don't respond right away, maybe they just don't hear you.
Yeah.
Don't be angry with them, but talk to them about this particular episode of the session with Londa and David, because I got news for you. Hearing people is way better than not hearing them.
Right.
Do you know one of the biggest causes of early onset dementia is hearing loss? Did you know that?
I believe that.
I couldn't believe it. But I get it, because me answering a question that you didn't ask because my brain filled in the blanks and I thought that's what you said, that is dangerous. That could hurt relationships.
When I said I felt like I was losing you a little bit, mm-hmm. and that compelled me to make the appointment, mm-hmm. I think that's exactly what, yeah, I think that. So if any of this resonates with you on any level in hearing or different medical capacity, please, for yourself, for those you love, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for the people that you love, make the appointment. Just make the appointment.
Yeah.
Just see. Could be fine. There could be no problem at all.
There was a really cool.
Just make the appointment.
There was a really cool flyer at the audiologist's office, and it was a visual representation of hearing loss, and it compared hearing to your sight. So it showed pictures 100%, and it's a crystal clear picture. And then 90%, it's a little blurry, not terrible, but a little blurry. And then 80%, when you get down to 60% of normal viewing, the people are unrecognizable. Well, that's kind of how hearing loss is. You know, you don't realize when you have 40% hearing loss and 60% of the regular range of sound, how much you miss. Yeah. But let me tell you, 40% is what you miss. 40%. So to be able to augment that by increasing the volume of the world by 40% is pretty impressive. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And my hearing aids were calibrated by the doctor based on my results.
Yeah, it's set via prescription.
Right.
Basically.
That's exactly right. So it's just like wearing glasses. It's the same thing.
It is exactly the same thing.
And they're kind of invisible.
That's the thing that's been really interesting too. If you have, some vanity concerns, you have told people you got hearing aids and they look for them and still can't see them.
And think I'm kidding.
Yes.
Right.
So I find that really interesting. For those watching, turn your head so that you can really see on the back of your ear there.
They're little guys.
It's a little tiny thing, and you don't really notice it at all.
And the little clear hose that goes into my ear to carry in the sound is tiny.
Yeah.
Little.
So there's been a lot of really interesting things that we've learned about hearing and about everything that goes with that in the last couple of weeks. And I just want to say thank you for being willing to go have the appointment and just see.
Yeah.
And willing to try them and see if they might make a difference or not, And so, you're still in your trial period of them. And so the jury's not out completely, but so far, so good.
I like hearing, and I have no concept of cost or value. You know what I mean? They were expensive, but I have no concept of how expensive hearing aids are. You know what I'm saying? So if you'd like to get a nice used Subaru, you can either do that or hear your grandchildren. So I'm hearing my grandchildren instead of driving a small used Subaru.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, enough of that. Moving on to the market.
Sure.
So I'm very excited about the housing market right now because we typically see the housing market start to slow in October in Tri-Cities, Washington. I should be specific. We usually see a slow in October, and we don't really recover from that till the end of February. So if you're a realtor, you better have filled the storehouse by October, as it were. And because, it's a little dicey in those months there. Well, I'm happy to say, and these are just generalities, right? It's not always true. It's not ever been true for me, but December's always been a big month for me, but most people, right? Well, it's very exciting because our weather has held out really well here, and the weather really does affect the housing market in Tri-Cities. So our weather is held out along with a little improvement in rates, and boom, bow, surprise, the market is rolling right along, strong as ever. So if you have any, I know a lot of people listen to this podcast for that information.
Sure.
They're like, well, how's the market? The market is strong and good, and I couldn't be happier. I think November will close as, I think, our largest month of the year so far. There's still December. And I am one of those people who, I will hold out hope until December 20th for that cash buyer that's going to come in and, close in 10 days. So I don't believe that it's over. About Thanksgiving, I saw a TikTok about this recently. This realtor was saying, it's the slow season for realtors. And she said, no, it's not. Realtors are slow. But it's not the slow season. So a lot of times you do see people in this profession and others about this time of year. They all
start talking about business planning.
They kind of
2026
check out until February,
Right.
But not us, man. We're hanging in there and having a great time, and things are moving right along. So for those of you that are still in it, you've been putting in the reps every day, every week. Mm-hmm. I know your business is great right now, like ours is, and it's very exciting. But I will say, like, we are very well aware of buyer fatigue and how I'm so empathetic toward our clients anyway. Selling is very stressful. Mm-hmm. Buying is exhausting. Like, those things are so real. And the houses, if you're a buyer, they all start to look the same. You get so frustrated that here we are, we go out and see 3 houses again today, and again, none of them work out. It's okay to take a step back, take a little break, refocus, and come back into it, you know? And so I think we try the best we can to make things not stressful for our clients. We, try to mitigate that as much as possible. But I don't know. I just want to say it's okay. There's always going to be another house. You can take a breath and take a break and then come back into the pool.
And one thing that we do at Sherwood Austin Homes and Sherwood Austin Mortgage that's different than other people is when we sit down with a customer, we do a full needs analysis. We don't ask people, how many bedrooms do you want? And how many bathrooms? But what we do is we say, tell us what you want in a house. Why do you want 3 bedrooms?
How will you use
That's
each
exactly
of those
right.
bedrooms? Yeah.
What's most important to you? Is it the area that you are? Is it the look of the house? What's most important? So we're going to do a full needs analysis to hopefully help narrow down those choices for you so that we find you together, working together, the best possible scenario for you, your family, your loved ones. That's the goal, right? It's not to find a house with 3 bedrooms and an office. It's to find the right house for you with 3 bedrooms and an office.
Right.
So we really do try to get down to the nitty-gritty and find out where you want to be in the world, not necessarily what street do you want to be on, because we want to make it easier for you. And let me tell you something. If you don't sit down and have those conversations with whomever your favorite realtor is, you're going to spend a lot more time driving around than you want to.
Well, I've been noticing some things recently, like as we're showing properties, I see empty flyer boxes. Like, bro.
Sure.
I just said it today because we looked at a house earlier today.
That's right.
If I was a seller and that flyer box was empty, I would be so pissed off.
Sure.
What are you doing?
Right.
We're in communication with our sellers constantly.
Sure.
About if we have a flyer. If you're not going to keep the box full of flyers, stop putting the box on the sign.
Right.
We don't typically put a flyer box on our signs anymore anyway, because, more and more people don't stop and pick up a flyer. Right. You Google the address and then you look at the Zillow or whatever. We'll do a QR code on some properties to scan for more info.
Sure.
Right. We do have a property right now that does have a flyer box on it that is kept full. And the reason for that, and here's something, we don't do it the same for every property. We very specifically, this one has a flyer box because it's a very walkable neighborhood.
Right.
And very easy to stop a car and look. And so that's why it has a box. But going into property, I don't know how far to get into this.
Get into it as far as you want.
What do they do? Hire us. There's a handful of really excellent agents. Sure. In every market.
Sure.
Find them, because there's a whole bunch of them who don't give a shit. They can't possibly. Why did I see a house this weekend that had dead bugs everywhere in the house?
Right.
And the agent asked me for feedback, and I said it looked more abandoned than vacant.
Right. That's exactly right.
Now, I deliver my feedback in such a way. I delivered some harsh, real true, like #real talk feedback to a couple of agents over the weekend, but because I'm highly empathetic, they both thanked me for the feedback. So I do deliver it in a way that there's a lot of kindness wrapped around it.
We showed a $1 million house this weekend. Jesus. And when you walk in the front door, well, you know what? Before you walked in the front door of this so-called $1 million house,
shitstorm.
Nightmare City. It's like there was a yard project going on. No one there doing it, but the tools were everywhere, right? That wasn't bad enough. So you walk in the front door, and architecturally, kind of a cool place. The pictures make it look cool, but just okay, right?
Yeah.
But you walk in the front door, and it's like you're punched in the junk by this pungent, wet dog smell. Like lots of large, wet mastiffs are sitting there, and they just came in from the pheasant hunt. I mean, what in the hell are you doing if you're showing a house by leaving a yard project that's clearly been going on for 6 months on your $1 million listing and wet dog?
Yeah, and it kind of went on and on. These were different properties, by the way, but because we looked at, I don't know, like 8 or 10 different properties this weekend, but maybe more. I don't know. They start to look the same to us too.
Yeah,
they
do.
So, the undone projects everywhere.
Unacceptable.
And it was, dirty, and it smelled bad. And you want my client to give you $1 million for this?
That's exactly right.
It matters.
It
the preparation matters, and the presentation matters. And I know, I get it. If you're an agent, you have clients sometimes that, you can't care about it more than they do.
Right.
And I've had those clients,
We had an agent in our home, our personal home this week, who looked around and said, "Man, I love your staging." We live in a place that we keep like it's list ready. We're not selling anything.
I mean, yeah.
But you know what I mean? There were no houses that we looked at with our clients this weekend that looked well staged and list ready. None, not one. There were dead bugs in one house. There was a mystery ghost murder room in that house. There was a deck that was falling off of it, literally falling off of it. Do not go on the deck unsafe. That is what you do when a house is condemned, not prepped for sale. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we were looking at the price point from $650 to $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, what in the heck are these realtors doing? You want some feedback? Fire your client and tell them to hire someone to fix the house, then list it.
Yeah. It was rough. It was rough out there.
Yeah.
Now, we did see a house this morning. Gorgeous. Perfect, I would say. Mm-hmm. We couldn't tell if it was professionally staged or if it's just their stuff. That's what you want.
That's right.
We have a listing right now that I would say is very similar. You can't quite tell, like, is this staged or is this their stuff?
Right.
And I love that. I love if you can do that. I get people's situations are different. I get that blah, 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 but that's what we're for. That's why we work with our sellers for a month or more before. One that we've got on right now, we've been working with him for 4 months before it went on the market.
That's exactly right.
And that's not unusual. Working with them to get it to the place where it is ready for a buyer to walk in the door and fall in love.
Right.
And that's what you want. And some people, I think, let's talk about the animal smell for a minute, because there's a lot of animal lovers, and I get that you're an animal lover, and maybe your realtor also an animal lover, and maybe they've told you, oh, well, if you bring it up, well, what about, does it smell like dog? Should I be worried about that? Should I be, oh, no, there's so many people are dog lovers, they're not even going to notice.
You can't put out a Glade scent thing that you plug into the wall and make me forget it smells like I'm at a kennel. If it smells like a kennel, remediate it before you show the property.
Yeah, it's an
issue.
I mean, and we had clients that the house kind of smelled like dog, and they said, what do we do? I said, well, this rug that's in the living room that's on it was a rug on top of a carpet, for decorative rug. I said, you got to get rid of it. You got to get rid of it and get the carpets cleaned. And then, Fido needs to spend a lot of time outside.
Right.
And they did. And the house doesn't smell like dog. And so even though they're dog people and they're dog lovers, and I get it, your dog is part of your family. I get it, but I don't want to smell it no more than I want to smell your baby's diapers.
Your dog may be part of your family, but your dog isn't part of my family. So if you expect me to buy your home, I don't want it to smell like your dog.
But listen to what I just said, and I think that's really a good
comparison,
a great point. Because, I love your baby too, but I don't want the house to smell like diaper.
Right.
Dirty diaper when I walk in. So like that stuff matters. And even if you, already have a realtor, but your home is listed, or you're going to list your home and you're not using us, first of all, why? But keep these things in mind. Like, we don't mind giving away our trade secrets. It shouldn't smell bad. And covering it up is not the answer.
Right.
You have to remedy it.
Plug it in one of those Glade plug-ins. Don't plug it in. Clean it up is what you need to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I wanted to give a little bit of a plug for us. If you are not getting our monthly mailers, which I'm holding up now, you should be getting them. You want to be able to throw these in the trash like everyone else does. But they actually have some really good information on them too. This month's that's going out, well, this is for December actually. There are 3 of our listed properties and 1 sold property. I think by the time this goes out, a couple of those might be sold. It doesn't matter. At the time of printing, this was accurate information.
Sure.
But what you're going to do is you're going to just see us every month, and you're going to learn a little bit about us right here, a little bit about what's going on in our business right here. And we would love to send those out to you. So if you're not getting this, but you would like to get this, all you have to do is reach out to me. Don't ask me how to get a hold of me. Google my name, Londa Sherwood Austin. That phone number is going to come right up.
And if you want to know what's going on with the real estate company and the mortgage company, all you have to do is go to SherwoodAustin.com. That's SherwoodAustin.com. That'll also give you links to the program. So you'll find out about the session with Londa and David. You'll find out about Sherwood Austin Homes and Sherwood Austin Mortgage at SherwoodAustin.com. There you have it. There it is. There's another 50 seconds in the show. Go.
Well, I don't know what to tell you except that I really do want people to plug into us. If you are at all curious or interested, please follow me on socials. Please check out SherwoodAustin.com. Please reach out to me so we can get you on the mailing list. It's just once a month. It's not a big deal. If you want values on your home, if you want a monthly, highly specialized valuation that is for your home only, reach out to me and I can get that to you. Again, it's just once a month. We try to do things that are valuable to people and not just be in front of you, for no reason. I'm way too practical for that.
For the prettiest girl in the world, Londa Joanne Sherwood Austin, my name's David Austin, and this has been another edition of The Session with Londa and David. We'll see you next week.